God bless you too.
Let's see. I got to see how this works. Okay, so all right. This has kind of been gone for a while, but he's
back. I've been crazy busy. What I've been doing is I've been in communication with the United States Treasury, learning how to be a private bank. This will be, when this gets set off, it's going to be private banking, international private banking. What I'm doing is they're using the money that they contracted me with me to hold as collateral for the backing of my private bank. And I've been teaching, or they've been teaching me, specifically one agent in the Treasury has been teaching me how to do this. I met him Father's Day weekend. He came down to East Tennessee, and I met him at a Wyndham condominiums in Fairville, where we talked all day that Saturday, and from early that Sunday morning till about 3 in the afternoon. He basically brought me in on what's going to happen if I'm willing to learn how to be a bank. So they asked me, I spoke to him the Monday prior to meeting him, and he asked me to, if I'd be willing to learn. He was going to teach me. This guy works with accountants for new banks that are applying for their new bank memberships to deal with the Treasury. So I was the first person he's ever worked with that wasn't a certified public accountant. I talked with him, and he said, I told him, yeah, I would like to do that. If this ain't a scam, you're not trying to screw me up. I've already been to prison once for some crazy stuff. But he said no, that this was legit. And the very next morning, that Tuesday morning, after I talked to him on the phone, I lost contacts with everything. I was locked out of my emails, and signal was gone, and I couldn't talk with anybody in the comments on the YouTube channel. I couldn't make new YouTube videos. I recently got the contact back with the people. About a month ago, I was able to start communicating with some folks in the comment sections of the YouTube. About a month and a half ago, I got my signal back. I got my contact list back, but I had to do that mostly from my little black book. And I had I wrote down a few people's numbers that I've been dealing with on a 3x5 card. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been able to contact anybody. I was pulled completely out of the Telegram channel. I wasn't even in there. I wasn't even in it. I had to ask one of the admin to bring me back in, and after I did that, they made me owner of the channel. So, but that's a dumpster fire. The Telegram channel is just it's been crazy. There is some admin in there now that have spent a little time cleaning it up, and they're trying to get it straight, but I don't know if that's a losing battle or not. Your best bet is to stay with groups like You Have the Right. You're going to get a little better information. It wasn't long after that I was in contact with Tad. A lot of phone numbers in my contact list were gone. And my phone was set up that if you called in and you weren't in my contact list, it was probably a scam call when I finally got it going back. So, but everything's back to normal. I have access to my emails, and I've been working on those. So if you emailed me something a long time ago, you didn't get an answer back from me, it's probably gone. You might want to resend. That seems to have been a big problem with my email since I started this. It's been over a year since I did the channel, started the YouTube channel, and I haven't done a video since June, sometime in June, I think it was. I don't know when I'll get back to that. I have had about a half a dozen people just show up at my house. That doesn't go too well at Chris's house. It doesn't. I know that most people are doing that are, in desperate need of help. But one guy wasn't. Him and his wife came down, and I was working out alongside my house next to my garage, and a guy pulls up, and I'm out there without a shirt on because it's hot, and your hair pulled back and everything. So I hear some dude go, "Hey, you know where Chris Hauser lives?" I turn around and talk to them, and they didn't understand sarcasm, because they said, one of your videos, you said if you're ever in East Tennessee, stop on up and see old Chris. There we are. These people were from Georgia, and they came to Gatlinburg to celebrate. And they were close by, so they thought they'd just swing on over and see me. They pulled up. We talked for a little bit, yeah. So I heard that for about a day. Who's these strangers? It kind of freaks out my 15-year-old when strange people just pull up unannounced in the driveway. And, they could kill us. They could come and kill us, It's probably not likely, but I can understand their concerns. So if you're listening, don't show up at my house. Contact me if it's really, really super important like that, life or death kind of thing. Contact me, and if you're going to pull up, I'll try and meet you out down in town at the Cracker Barrel or Bojangles or something, But they were celebrating the payoff on their mortgage. I asked them if it was their anniversary. He said, "No, it's a payoff on our mortgage." Well, we did your remittance process with the 1099-A and the remittance coupon, and they paid off their house.
Wow.
So they wanted to get their picture with me, and after that they left. But people have had issues where, they think that something's important. Come down and see me. So one lady and her son, they were from Michigan, and the city was trying to steal their lake property, their lakefront property. It was on a peninsula around the lake in Michigan. They're trying to steal it from them. It's prime real estate. So her and her husband were watching my videos back in the winter. While they were in the hospital, he was dying of stage 4 cancer. He finally passed. I kind of thought, wow, man, this guy's in stage 4 cancer and dying, and what's he going to do with his time? Watch my videos. So when they showed up here, her and her son, they were staying in the truck stop, sleeping in the back of a pickup truck. I looked at her conditional acceptance and told her son, I said, "Look, man, if you understand what I'm doing, why don't you sell your son the property for $21 silver, and then You know, this is at the end of October, September the 1st. I think she had to go into some kind of hearing, and they totally shut them down. Totally shut them down, and they're keeping their property, as it looks like anyway. So, you know, I understand that. I understand the need that people have to be helped, and you know, I'm glad I can help some folks. But I would hope that people would understand that my family's freaked out about this. My 12-year-old son isn't. He said, I got a gun. Anybody comes in here and blow their freaking brains out. And he will. He's a 12-year-old, probably shoot somebody. Hope he doesn't shoot me on accident one day. But he's got a gun. And he's been to hunter safety course, and he knows how to shoot it. He's killed some animals, and I know animals aren't people, but anyway, so they cut me off, and I'm all hooked back up again. The guy, after I met with him Father's Day weekend there, something else my wife was pissed off about. I spent most of Father's Day with a freaking treasury agent instead of my family. But I think once she's seen what they were doing, she got a little more at ease about what's going on. This is something nobody knows. I just talked to Michael tonight, and there is a group of people here in East Tennessee that are doing the same thing we did. They're leaning judges and public officials, except the report that I got was they're not charging these guys with anything. I'm assuming whoever it is, I hope they've been paying attention, and they're doing it without the UCC ones. It could be why they're not being charged. I don't know. He's going to find out a little more information about that and get back with me. But yeah, here's what's going on. Okay, this is what's happening. I got a 1,000-page document that took me about 11 months to study. And after I studied those, and I'm doing 16, 17 hours of screen time, y'all. This is like every waking moment I got my phone in my hand, researching stuff from a 1,000-page document. So I do all that.
Pay attention to these scenes from the work.
Then I did a teleconference with 8 people from the Treasury, and they quizzed me on the information. I answered, and then they said about every question they asked me, they wanted me to restate the information in layman's terms so that a high schooler could understand it or a 10th grader could understand it. So I had to think about
disturbing. The tranny on the scenes from the world that we grew up in. Notice the homogeny. All of these people are pretty much normal. Now check out the world as we find it today. It's shocking. It's disturbing. The tranny on the right looks like a serial killer. The tranny on the left just got arrested for sexually assaulting a ton of children. This is what passes as normal today on the television. This is what they're teaching children today in school.
You know, how would I regurgitate this to someone so someone can understand it? I did that for about 3 hours, and I think it was 3 hours and 45 minutes I was on this conference call. And we all hung up, except me and the agent, and I asked him, how did I do? How do you think I did? He said, I don't know. These people are unpredictable. But I think he did pretty good. So he called me back a day later and said, okay, you're good. Now we're going to do the second phase of this process, and that's the paperwork. It took me about 3 weeks to do the paperwork. I submitted the paperwork, and yesterday I got a call from Mitch, he's the guy at the Treasury, and telling me that only 3 of the documents needed to be corrected. One was an easy fix, and the 2 other ones, I frigged them way bad up. He highlighted some things on them and put some notes with them, and as soon as I get them, should get them tomorrow, no later than Saturday, I would suspect. So I will talk with him. I'll redo the paperwork and resend it. It'll get added back in. Then what they'll do is they will notify me when I'm able to bank. Okay, now, as far as the banking goes, all right, what I'm going to do is make loans. Say, for instance, Tad needs a couple $1 million. What I'm going to do is I'll be sending Tad a contract. He'll sign it in front of a notary public, send it back to me. That contract will state that I have his power of attorney to sign his beneficiary signature on the back of the 1099-A. I'll submit that electronically because I'm going to have a straight line connection with the Treasury. The Treasury will take that 1099-A, process it. I'll send it the next day air, so that they get it. And what they'll be doing is they'll be working the paperwork. They're going to send the money to me. Say Tad wants a loan for $2 million. I'm going to do a 1099-A for $2,200,000. And Tad's going to do this. He's going to have not nary a bit of problem with me doing this. That's going to be my fee. I'm saying 10% because it's easier to do the math. It's probably going to be less than that. It's probably going to be more like 4% or 5%. I'm just saying 10 because it's easier to do the math. So I'll do that. Then the money will come to my account. It's not a Treasury Direct account, but it's something similar to that. It'll come to my account, and it'll be a beneficiary account, okay? It'll come into my beneficiary account. I'll take the $200,000 out, and I'll send Tad to his account the $2 million, okay? Now, when I file the 1099-A, I am not going to check box 5. I am not going to check box 5. What does that mean? That means it's not getting repaid. So in a year, the contract will be set up for him to make the first payment in 365 days. He's going to come to me in 365 days and say, I can't pay the loan. I'm going to do a 1099-C on that and cancel the debt. The reason I'll do the 1099-C to cancel the debt will be because that's how I cover my money. If I don't do a 1099-C, they're going to take $2.2 million out of my trust to pay it back to Tad's trust. You see what I'm saying? So that's how this is going to work. You know, you'd say, well, why would they do that? Well, first off, in order for them to actually get their money from me, the $71.4 million, plus interest since 2016-15, they have to pay me mine. And they have. They put that into my trust fund. But they can't really access and use their 71.4% plus interest until I have access to use mine. And I'm not going to be using mine for anything more than the backing for my bank. And that's insurance in case Tad doesn't pay me back. And you say, well, why would they do that? Or why don't banks do that? Because banks are greedy, my friends. I'm not greedy. I'm going to get a percentage straight off the top. You're going to get your money. It's yours anyway. And then Tad's going to do something with it, right? Tad's not going to just sit on it. He might take 30 or 40% and convert it into gold and silver, and I would do that, folks. I would do that. But he's going to take a lot of that money, and what he's going to do with that money is things that are going to generate revenue for the government. That's why they're allowing this to go down. Okay.
Can you give us an example of what you mean by things that will generate revenue? Well,
say Tad wants to build a self-sufficient community for him and his friends. He's going to need to buy land. He's going to need to buy equipment. He's going to need to buy stuff from Lowe's. He's going to need the concrete guys to come in. He's going to need loads of gravel. He's going to take that money, he's going to spend it into the economy. That's going to generate revenue. Revenue that wouldn't have been generated if he hadn't got that money. That's how this is going to work. If I give you $5 million and you come to me and get a loan for $5 million, and you go buy a $5 million house, if it's already built and you're buying it from another owner, they're going to do something with the $5 million they get from you. Or you're going to spend $5 million building it, which means materials and contractors and architects and plumbers, electricians, all that stuff. That money's going out. It's going to gas up the economy, and the government's going to get theirs back in taxes. If they get it for nothing more back than sales tax, it's a win-win. Okay, here's where this really gets interesting, y'all. Not only am I going to do this, a lot of y'all that are listening are going to be able to do this. Because I plan on teaching this process. They planned on me teaching it. That's why they asked me to explain it in layman terms. That's how I found out that after this conference call, I asked Mitch, I said, why do they keep asking me to explain it easy? Don't they already know how it is hard? He said, yeah, but they want you to teach this to other people. Like how easy you made it for people to understand what you were talking about in your videos. I guess they see me as a prime candidate to do this. So what's going to happen, folks? It's still going to be a little off. It might be next spring by the time this is up and running, because a lot's going to have to go into this. This is my break. I've had a break for 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, I finally had a weekend off. Why did I have to do anything? About went out of my mind because I had nothing to do. It's like being a junkie and getting cut off right away. But what's going to happen is I'm going to teach. Here's what's going on. A lot of you guys out there, you got these $100 million bonds from your redemption manual process or whatever it was that you were doing that you created this $100 million bond with. Or you've got a conditional acceptance and you contract with the Treasury. Here's the new one. Or you haven't gotten anything back from your W-4 sandwich. Yeah, they're holding some of those too. There was an empty office in the Treasury that these contracts were coming into. My contract, my friends that are in prison, their contracts, they're the oldest ones there. You guys are doing your conditional acceptances and contracting with the Treasury. Well, yours is there. There's 10 99As there. A lot of people's 1099As are ending up there. And they're going to want me to do these 1099As. Well, not necessarily me. Maybe you. Maybe one of you will be doing these for maybe a bunch of you guys out here will be doing this for other folks. Here's what's going to happen. Right away, as soon as my bank is up and I can start doing this, I'm going to do loans first to the people who have been with this for quite a while and are savvy with what's going on. And also some of the people that the Treasury wants to have done this first. I'm sure they've got a list of people that they're about to dump in my lap. These are the people we want you to teach to be banks right away. Everybody's going to get their turn, even the junkies. If you're a junkie and you've done a contract with the Treasury, or you've done a contract with the bonds or whatever, you may have the opportunity to be a private bank. You're going to end up in rehab first. You're going to do some rehab, and you're going to be drug-free for 6 months to a year before we're going to drop this on you. But for the most part, people that are doing this aren't junkies. And most of them that are doing it have a half a brain. And they understand what it was that they did. Well, the Treasury knows this. They may be looking at people who they think understand this real well and are in a position to take on the responsibilities of doing these loans for people. I don't know what their intention is, but I do know when they drop, 12 or 18 or 24 people in my lab and say, here, train these people first. As soon as they're trained, I'm going to go, okay, here's my 12, my 18. I'll do yours, and then you're going to do mine. Then I'll do yours again. That's how we're going to do this. What I'm going to do, folks, is create a foundation, a 508 foundation. I'm going to have 9 people in the council. Each one of those people is going to be the head of different divisions, okay? And every member in the council is going to have equal vote. Then there's going to be an outer circle of probably 30 folks, and every one of the 30, each one of the 30 will have 10 of their own in an outer circle. And these are going to be the people that are going to train people how to bank. If this foundation's up in 6 months, by the time summer's over next year, a lot of people are going to be banking. And the business is going to find you. When you start banking, the business is going to find you. Tad's going to be able to come to me. I'm going to give him a loan, and I'm not even going to check your credit. I don't care about your credit. I know what your credit is. It's good. The private banks are also going to be able to access QSIP numbers and individual bonds that were created on your birth certificate and your Social Security card. I'm parched, man. I've been working today. So that's what's going on. A lot of people that are struggling. When I first talked to this guy from the Treasury, I realized after reading this material why so many people were having a hard time with the 1099-A. Because, and this is my bad, this is where I was wrong. I was telling people, well, I'm not necessarily been wrong, because some people, this has worked for, very few. But it has worked for acting as trustees for other folks. But for the most part, when you read the directions of the 1099-A 1099-C. It tells you who must file. So what they're doing is they're going to allow a bunch of us to be those financial institutions to do this with. And the reason that it's a private bank, is because each one of y'all, even though you'll be working with the public, see, like Tad, I'd be working with the public. Tad needs a loan, right? How's that a private bank? It's a private bank because I'm the only investor in the bank. It's my trust. That's the investment into the bank. I'm not on the market. You can't buy stock in my bank. These are the things that make it a private bank. So that's kind of where we're at with this. Most of y'all that are connected with Tad are going to know fairly soon. Tad's one of my closest confidants. He's pretty much the first person that has known everything about what's going on in real time.
Well, so, I believe I was a little indirectly responsible for getting you connected.
Yeah, you was, but I didn't want to mention that. I figured you could if you wanted to. I know a lot of people that I've talked to, they don't want to put their name out there, so I didn't. But yeah, if y'all really want to know, Tad is the reason that I moved into the position to call them. So now that he's let the cat out of the bag, he tried to do his foundation alone with a letter of credit, or give them a line of credit with a letter of credit that opened some doors. They wasn't talking with him much about it, but he got a hold of the person that I ended up getting a hold of, that indirectly put me in line with the right guys in the Treasury to do my stuff. I just basically called the lady and said, "Hey, where's my money? I got some contracts. Where's my money?" I didn't even say anything about a letter of credit. But yeah, Tad's the one that pretty much opened the door to the United States Mint there. Yeah. So that's where we're at. I'm going to, when it comes to that, like I said, the first thing I want to do is get people the loans. Like say I asked Tad to take a position in the council, the foundation, and he says, "Yeah, I'll do that." Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure he's got a loan. He'll be one of the first people I loan to, because I want him to be financially stable. I don't want him to be concerned about where's the rent coming from, or the house payment, or how am I going to eat. I want him to, people that work in the council, I want them to be totally free of debt and not have to worry. I want their spouses to be able to quit their jobs because they're sitting at home and taking care of their one income family, and it's going to be a good one. In the foundation, what I'm going to do is, one of the council members is probably going to be a liaison with the Treasury. They'll be in contact with the people in the Treasury. Look, we need 20 more contracts. Pick them out and send them to us. And what's going to happen is the outer circle folks are going to contact you if your contract is pulled, They're going to contact you. Are you ready to bank? Yeah, I'm ready to bank. Well, those outer circle people are going to train you how to be a bank and how to do the paperwork and help you get set up. But before you start your training, you're going to give us a $50,000 1099A. Because that $50,000 1099A is, remember, this is going to be a nonprofit organization. So 40% of that $50,000 is going to go to the outer circle guy. His boss, the inner circle guy, is going to get 30, and then the other 30 is going to go to the foundation. The foundation is going to pay for the cars and the insurance and the food and the hotels and all that. Once all that stuff is paid for, at the end of the year, we're going to profit share. We're going to split all the profits. So this is going to be good. If you think about that, they're going to make, if you give us a $50,000 CD or a $50,000 1099A, and in 4 weeks you've done all your banking stuff, right? And the outer circle guy is teaching 6 people, or working with 8 people, helping them to become banks in a week, per week. That's, 200,000, 400,000, 600,000 a week that outer circle person's going to make. Not to mention most of the people in the foundation are going to be private banks. We're going to be one of the wealthiest as far as employees that have the money. Foundations in the country, probably. I don't want to do this for too long. I would like to see this up and running, and then in 5 years, 4 years, when all the bugs are worked out, I'm stepping out. I'm going to retire. I don't want to do this. You guys wouldn't believe how much time I've spent putting this together since June. It's crazy. I've rearranged my office down here, and my son doesn't game in here anymore, and it's no longer the homeschool. This is my cabin, my office and my cabin. I got a bed down here. I got a refrigerator and a microwave. My wife will send me a text or something like that, come and get some supper, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty much living down here. I do go to sleep listening to Coast to Coast, AM Coast to Coast, and Art Bell. I like to listen to that stuff right there. I did while I was in jail. It was so loud in jail. There's 60 people in one cell. I put the earbuds in on the radio, and I'd go to sleep listening to Coast to Coast, George Norrie. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff, but that's where we're at. And
so, are you ready to take some questions?
Yeah, I just recently started talking back in these groups again, but this thing isn't going to be. I'm not going to teach this process on YouTube because I can't do that. People would get in there and they would ask 50,000 questions, a lot of the same, like it is now. I can't do that. Probably what I'll do is I'll start out small Zoom groups, maybe 18 for the next month and a half, and then another 20, maybe 24 on after that. Once this becomes refined and we record the Zooms, then probably what will happen is you'll come into the foundation and watch some Zooms. Then if you have any questions, you'll have a point of contact where you can get to. Haven't quite figured all that out yet. But I have been working on a outline for the steps involved that you're going to have to take to get to this. I'm getting my thoughts together on that because I don't want to waste time. When they say go ahead, I want to start loaning out money and start training people. Because the more y'all I can get out here doing private banks, the less I have to do in my bank. You know, I can do a little banking and send the rest of the banking out to y'all. Because like I said, I don't need $200,000. If I done Tad a $2 million loan, and I done 3 other people $2 million loans, that's $800,000 a week. I don't need that. That's an obscene amount of money. I don't need that. I would rather put these loans off on y'all to do for people than have to do them myself. That gives me more time to concentrate on the foundation. Once the foundation's up and pretty much running on its own without much of my help, then I could probably do some more loans and stuff. But that's the thing. So if you guys got questions or whatever to add, we can break off into that.
All right. Real quick, though, you mentioned if you're a tweaker, even you get a chance to do your own bank, but you have to go to treatment first. And I want to say, if you have any kind of chemical addiction, and you're at the point that you know you have it and it's messing up your life and you want to change, research something called ibogaine. You cannot get it in the U.S. You have to go to Mexico to get treatment centers there. But ibogaine is a derivative of the bark from a bush in Africa. It's a hallucinogen. But what it does is that when they put it in a pill form, but you take it and you go on like a 5 or 6 hour trip. But during that 5 or 6 hours, that ibogaine rewires the brain's addiction center. And when you come off of that thing, in most cases, your desire, your cravings for your chemical addictions are gone. Okay, that doesn't
I'd probably even do that. I'd probably do that without an addiction, man. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, well, some of the tribes in Africa use it as part of their spiritual ceremonies. Can't imagine why. But so if you do have, and I say this because recently I lost a friend. He was an ambitious man who did a lot of good things in his life, and he fell back into alcohol addiction, and that led to other things and other things. And then eventually he had insurmountable legal troubles, and he just killed himself. So, and I tried to introduce him to ibogaine, but he just wouldn't listen. So, if you have an addiction and you are listening, look up ibogaine treatment centers. I think there might be ones in Canada. I'm not sure, but Mexico for sure. So if you have any questions, hit *6 on your phone. So I think we're going to go to Monica.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, thanks for waiting.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi. Hi, Chris. And I was just going to say that that we do actually have a contract with the Treasury. It's been over 130 days. And just recently we received the green cards back, but the original ones that we sent to Treasury, they send it back to me. So I don't know what that means. But nothing else came. And
it's the green card, right? It's the green card.
Yeah, the signature card came back.
That's your signature card for your contract. Hang on to that.
Yeah, they sent it back to me just recently, and but nothing else came. And anyway, we were trying to do the remittance process with the banks to zero out the mortgage, but they're giving us a hard time. So we're going to do the conditional acceptance on them. But I remember what you were saying in the past that you actually can do the conditional acceptance on the actual company, like the corporation as well. Not just the individual people, but also the corporation. But we didn't do that when we had our case before. It was a court case, and we did it against the court people and everybody. We didn't do it against the corporation. But I was just wondering, what does it do when you do it to the corporation? What does it do with the corporation? What is the damage to the corporation?
When you do a conditional acceptance against the CFO or the CEO, or even one of the peons, you're actually, if you're doing the conditional acceptance like the example that I've given out, then you already have, because you say Mr. So-and-so and their principal.
Okay.
The principal is the corporation. If you're doing a conditional acceptance on a judge and a prosecutor and a clerk, right, you're also doing it on their principal. Their principal is the court. So if you do it on someone in a company, and you've got the verbiage in your conditional acceptance where it says you and your principal, usually on the, let me see here, I think it's usually like on the first page, maybe. Yeah. On the very first page where you got the from and then you do the to, the trustees and their principals, and then it lists all the then you list all the trustees. If you did that against someone in a corporation, you did do you did get their principal.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, that's
you
good.
Know what I mean?
And yes, makes sense. Yeah, thank you. And so so they're giving us a hard time. They're not doing anything with our remittance letters, and they keep on saying, "Oh, we don't know what you're talking about." You know, they're playing game with us. So we're like, "Okay, that's it. We're gonna do the conditional acceptance on those people because they're not helping us with that." And I was gonna send you an email. What is the best email? Is that the Proton Mail or the Gmail?
Yeah, Proton Mail, the C.A. Hauser at Proton Mail. That's the best one.
Okay.
Pretty much anymore, the Gmail, I just use it for like the VA, and because everybody's pretty much sending it over to the Gmail is the one that got hacked.
Oh, okay.
Proton Mail didn't get hacked, but it got blocked. So, now look at here, y'all. As far as the remittance things goes, I was speaking to someone just recently, and we were talking about the Treasury has a remittance office. So, and me and her talked. We just talked last week. I don't even know if it was last week. Might have been this weekend. And she said that she was going to send the remittance to the remittance office at the Treasury and have them pay the bills. So that may be something y'all might want to try too. I haven't heard anything back because she was just going to do it this week, I think. But when I hear back from her how that went, because the Treasury is really supposed to be paying your bills. Really supposed to be doing that. It's why they got a remittance office, apparently. So I talked with her about this, and as soon as I get some kind of, information from her about how it went, I'll share it with everybody. But that's always a possibility, too. Say this mortgage company's talking like, well, we don't know what you're talking about. We'll send it to the Treasury. The Treasury will tell them they'll know what you're talking about when the Treasury sends them one.
So we have a lot of people that are waiting.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Yeah. God bless you, too.
Let's see. I got to see how this works. Okay, so there we go. So maybe I've got to go to the next. Rambo.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
So I have a question
fine.
for you. Did you ever live in North Carolina?
No, I've never lived in North Carolina. I just have a North Carolina number, trying to stay on the private side and lay low.
I just thought you might be related to somebody I know. So, okay, go ahead.
No, I have no family there. Chris, I'm so glad to hear your voice. I've been following you for at least 6 to 7 years, and I have some old emails that we had when we used to talk before you blew up. And I'm stuck at a crossroad because I authenticated my birth certificate. I did my passport. I did the name correction, which really needed to be corrected. You sent me on that path years ago, and I finally got it completed because the records were sealed. My mom passed away, and they changed my last name to my dad's last name. So I did the court order like you told me to do with the Superior Court, and I was successful at doing that. So I'm still stuck at trying to get my son out of prison. He's been gone since he was 18, and he's now 35. And this happened in Douglasville, Georgia. And you were trying to help me with that situation, but you told me I needed to do some corrections first to get myself set up. Will I be able to get in on this group that you're going to have privately? Will I be able to get in with that so that I can get him out? I don't know how much longer I have. I've been diagnosed with lupus, and I'm just trying to get my boy home.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get him home. I know I have to have something for him to come home to, and he didn't murder anyone. He didn't kill anyone. They locked him up because of an armed robbery that they said that a Mexican said that he was robbed. So it wasn't a store. They said he was with a gun, but they still to this day haven't found a gun. And I'm out of resources, and I've still just been hanging on to hope. Just glad that you're okay. You know, even if you can't help me, I know how it feels. And I've helped a lot of people, and I'm just trying to figure it out. You know, this is not for greed. It's to help get us out of this system.
Yeah, just stick with Tad here, and as soon as it's up, we'll get you some help. Well, look, I'm also doing some things with my
get before you blew up. And following you, lived in North Carolina. I just have
the Treasury will tell them they'll know what you're talking about when the Treasury sends them one.
So we have a lot of people that are waiting.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I thank you for everything. Thank you. God bless you.
Yeah. God bless you, too.
Let's see. I got to see how this works. Okay, so there we go. So maybe I've got to go to the next. Rambo.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
So I have a question
fine.
for you. Did you ever live in North Carolina?
No. No, I've never lived in North Carolina. I just have a North Carolina number, trying to stay on the private side and lay low.
I just thought you might be related to somebody I know. So, okay, go ahead.
No, I have no family there. Chris, I'm so glad to hear your voice. I've been following you for at least 6 to 7 years, and I have some old emails that we had when we used to talk before you blew up. And I'm stuck at a crossroad because I authenticated my birth certificate. I did my passport. I did the name correction, which really needed to be corrected. You sent me on that path years ago, and I finally got it completed because the records were sealed. My mom passed away, and they changed my last name to my dad's last name. So I did the court order like you told me to do with the Superior Court, and I was successful at doing that. So I'm still stuck at trying to get my son out of prison. He's been gone since he was 18, and he's now 35. And this happened in Douglasville, Georgia. And you were trying to help me with that situation, but you told me I needed to do some corrections first to get myself set up. Will I be able to get in on this group that you're going to have privately? Will I be able to get in with that so that I can get him out? I don't know how much longer I have. I've been diagnosed with lupus, and I'm just trying to get my boy home.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get him home. I know I have to have something for him to come home to, and he didn't murder anyone. He didn't kill anyone. They locked him up because of an armed robbery that they said that a Mexican said that he was robbed. So it wasn't a store. They said he was with a gun, but they still to this day haven't found a gun. And I'm out of resources, and I've still just been hanging on to hope. Just glad that you're okay. You know, even if you can't help me, I know how it feels, and I've helped a lot of people, and I'm just trying to figure it out. You know, this is not for greed. It's to help get us out of this system.
Yeah, just stick with Tad here, and as soon as it's up, we'll get you some help. Well, look, I'm also doing some things with my prison buddy who's in on murder conviction. So
yes,
if that goes down, there's a couple different things we're doing. Today I started doing the W-4 on his case. That might be something you want to look into, because it seems like a lot of people so far have done quite well with cases.
Okay. I don't
cases that are pending right now.
Okay.
But we're doing this. Well, I'm doing this on a 30-year-old murder conviction. There are people that have done this on 20-year-old car repossession, and got the company, the finance company that repossessed their car, to pay them thousands of dollars.
Right. I'm in that situation as well. Let me say this right quick. I don't want to take up too much time for everyone else, but I did a 1099A online, went to 1099A.com and did an acquisition on there for my son's case, and they sent the acquisition to the prison to him, and he sent me a letter. He sent me a picture. He said, what is this? So he has the acquisition, and it's for, I think it was either $3 million or $300,000. I can't remember how much it was, but did that like 2 years ago, and I didn't know what to do with it, so it's just sitting there. I I don't know what
I don't know.
with the acquisition.
Yeah, I don't know what the 1099A would do for him at this point. We have got Union Supply to accept 1099As. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Union Supply.
Yes.
But in this company, in this state, Union Supply handles a lot of the commissary for the people that are in prison.
Absolutely.
The first one they took was for $1,000. This inmate gave a 1099A to Union Supply. They sent it back to him and said, "Oh, well, we need you." They sent him back some paperwork. They said, "We need you to fill this paperwork out right here." He filled it out and sent it back to them. And now all the inmates that are around him are doing 1099As first, so they can order stuff from the Union Supply.
Yeah.
You know, clothes
the cost
and fans,
of food has gone.
TVs and tennis shoes and food and they're using 1099As to pay that. But the W-4, well, the way that the W-4 is working is, or what we're doing with it is, we're submitting the case number. We're putting the case number on the W-4, and then we're having the IRS audit the court for those bonds that they created. Now, they can't pay the taxes on those bonds, so they abandon them. When they abandon them, there's no longer a case. So cases are getting dropped like crazy with these things. People aren't getting paid, but the cases are being dropped. You know what I mean? So we're going to see how that works. If this works with my friend that's in a 30-year murder conviction, don't think we ain't going to figure out how to do this for everybody.
Okay.
Okay. So that address your question?
Yes. So how do I keep in touch with you, Chris?
Yeah, you can email me.
Okay. Is it still the CA Hauser at the Proton Mill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And hang in there. I've had friends with that lupus. That ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Y'all said prayer for Rambos.
Yes, please. Thank you so much. This is Rambo. My son. Yeah, y'all too. Y'all have a blessed night.
You too.
And I hope y'all keep me in touch with the meetings and how we're going to move forward with becoming private banks so that we can get on board and help the others and do whatever Chris needs us to help him do so we can grow.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So, Karen, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Tad. It's been a while.
Hi, Karen.
Yeah, I had to step away just because the stress was getting ridiculous. I've been, working on all of this banking, IRS, trying to get my knowledge base to a state where I can be helpful to myself or others. And some success, some not success. Some anti-success. I'm being left alone right now, so it's kind of a good, stable state for me. But I still want to help, and I don't know what the plan is exactly for training or how you want to start bringing people in, what their knowledge base has to be, how much they have to unlearn or not unlearn. But I'm interested in helping, and I do have some of the foundation of verified name and all of that, birth certificate, all that stuff. And I'd be happy for it to be looked at to see whether I'm at least have a basis. Probably the only financial need right now is that I'm just would like that state of being out of debt would be great. I don't need to retire because I go a little crazy if I'm not working at all.
I know what you mean.
So Karen's good at organizing. Karen's good at putting things together in an organized, coherent manner.
Yeah,
and tracking data.
Yeah, a lot of y'all have. Yeah, a lot of y'all have contacted me in the last week or two, and I've talked with people that have had years of banking and accounting and in different qualities. I'm going to have a huge pool of no doubt qualified people. I just got to figure out who all we're going to need. I think once the council's up, there's going to be so much input come in to work this. Because I know when you get a half a dozen people together and brainstorming about stuff, and everybody's had different experiences in their life, and everybody's got different educations and see things differently, that we're going to figure that out. And I'm not throwing away any emails. As a matter of fact, I've been starring emails from folks that, have talked about their different qualifications, and, that'll be a whole long list of folks that'll be, that'll be out there to help. And, this is going to be profitable. Anybody involved, from the least to the greatest, is going to, that's what this is about. It's about helping people, being able to help people. But the benefits are going to be crazy. We're going to be able to be the Mr. Drysdales for you Gen Xers, man.
Gen X?
That's what this.
I'm 64 years old.
Yeah.
Baby boomers.
I'm a late baby boomer. My education is in computer science, and I have an MBA. And what I've done as a career is a business analyst for most of my career. Although I was a coder at the beginning. And again, my strengths are organizing data and documents and timing of things and process and all of that.
Yes.
So
Karen would be
I'm
good.
I'm working full time until the end of January, and then I'm free again.
All right.
And on unemployment.
That might be the best time to get you in there. Stay in touch with Dad.
Timing might be good when I'm just sliding on unemployment, and I'd like to, free up the debt so that my unemployment will cover what I need, which is not very much.
Yeah.
All right, Karen. So stay in touch, but we do have some other people we got to get to.
Yeah, definitely, Karen.
All right, thank you, Karen. 858 area code. You're next. 858. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, Chris. I reached out to you a while ago. It's been some time. Good to hear your voice again. The reason why the question I have is a few of us obviously have done the 1099A, and actually some of us received vouchers back from the IRS. But I wasn't exactly sure what to do from there once we received those vouchers. That's the first question. I don't know if you can kind of address that and give me some.
Okay, you talk about the 1040Bs. No, it's actually came as a voucher from the IRS. I don't think it was a 10. I'd probably have to look at it. Does it have an amount on it? No, there's no amount. There's no amount. Yeah, I'd have to take a look at it to see what it is. I'm familiar with the 1040V. I thought that maybe the Treasury required you to provide an invoice or a bill or what have you along with that voucher. But we'd already submitted the 1099A, the OID, and the 1096. But in return, that's what came back was a voucher. Yeah, that's is there a form number on it?
Yeah, I'd have to, I don't have it in front of me right now. It's but
yeah. Hey, if you could take a picture of it minus any Social Security number, cover that up, and send it to me so I can email it to me and put title it voucher. So when I see it, I'll know it's from you. Then I can look at it and I'll.
Which email or Telegram? What's the best contact?
No, email it to me.
What was the Proton Mail? I don't know the
C.
first
Hauser. C.A. Hauser.
Okay.
Capital C, capital A, capital H, AUSER. And it's at protonmail.com.
Okay. Thank you. That's it. I yield.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate
it. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Darling, and darling.
Hey, darling and darling, Mary Angela. Chris, do you have a time frame when you're going to be up running your own private bank for loans?
No, I don't, because like I said, I got some paperwork that I submitted that's coming back, and then once a tentative though, this should be by the end of the year.
Okay.
Because I don't know how long it takes. Once I've been approved, once the paperwork's approved, I don't know how long it takes before they say, okay, you're ready to go. I may have to, I was talking with someone night before last night. I don't know, my days bleed up so much. But I was talking about I've been looking at some computers and I just bought a external hard drive here not too long ago because it looks like I'm going to need a lot of storage. I may even have to purchase some equipment, some other equipment. I'm not quite sure. That's not going to be a problem. If I have to put in a server here in the cabin, I think I'll even be able to do that. I got a tech guy who said he'd come set it all up for me if I just buy the gear through his company. There's a company he works with. He said he'd set it up for free. So I may have a server up here for too long, which would be good.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is I had found some property that I want to build tiny homes for our homeless vets, and I did the 1099-A, and it hasn't come through yet. And then I also submitted to the IRS for an EIN number for private banking because I wanted to do that before I realized you were doing this. So, and then I've also started reading the Treasury fiscal manual. You know, I started with what did you say, volume 3?
Volume 3.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm in. I mean, you can count me in. So, but I'm really needing to get that loan to secure this property, and because the 1099-A hasn't come through. So, and I did mine back in April. So.
Okay, so we do have some other people waiting.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, stay in. You have the right.
Stay in touch with me, Mary. Of course, you do anyway. Oh, I got your card. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome, darling. Love you guys.
Yeah, love you too. Hey, y'all, we're gonna try and do this once a week like we were doing before.
Oh, cool.
So we can keep you all up to date on any new information.
All right, David, you're next. David, go ahead. 913 area code. Make sure you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me okay now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
My question's on the 1096. Just who signs that on the 1096? Does the trustee ever sign it?
The trustee.
The trustee? Okay, they
the
title it
trustee
trustee.
signs it.
And
the trustee's going to sign everything. The trustee's going to sign everything except the back of the 1099A.
Okay. The reason why I asked that is because on one of them you said that to put beneficiary in there and you sign it, but I think it was because you had a lien. You were doing a lien and not purchasing something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Okay. I guess that's all
why. Okay.
But
that's it, you folks. When I do the videos, I'm being a trustee to the people that I did the liens against. Okay, I am the trustee in that one.
Okay,
that's why I signed those like that. That I was doing the 96s and the 1040Bs and all that, because the Treasury was going to take the money from the people's trust that they were going to lien. They were leaning the people for me. That's why they're a little different. As a trustee, working as a trustee, you're going to do the 96, the OID, the 88s, the 40Bs. The only thing that the beneficiary is going to do is 1099A.
So they don't ever sign the 1096 and put beneficiary next to title. I wouldn't sign it. I don't know. Okay.
I mean, you can put when you sign the 96, you can put beneficiary because you are the beneficiary of your own trust, but you'll not be the beneficiary on the 1099A.
Right. I know that.
So you're actually going to be the beneficiary of the funds that come from the 1040B, and then you're going to give them to the beneficiary. I don't know if that might be a little confusing to think of it that way, but you don't have to sign it that way.
Okay.
You can sign a trustee. You know what I mean? You could actually sign the 96 with a trustee for the title. You can sign the signature with the beneficiary, and then over where it says title, put trustee. You can do that too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to pay my lease in advance, and I wasn't sure whether I signed it, so I sent him a copy with my signature as beneficiary, and then I left the other one blank.
You're trying to pay the what? What was you trying to pay?
Pay my rent, and so I signed one of the 1096.
I'm glad you told me that, because look, you cannot what you've probably done is did a 1099A for your rent, you as the beneficiary, and then you tried to do the 96, the 40B, and all the other ones. You can't do that. That's what the landlord would do. The landlord will actually fill out all the paperwork.
Yeah, I understand that, Chris.
You see what I'm saying?
I just filled it out. I just filled it out. I didn't sign the 1099A except for one of them. I gave one with my signature and one without, and I said, I'm just doing this as a courtesy. Filled out most of these papers, and you have to turn them in.
All right. Thanks for telling me that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I
kind of get worried when I hear y'all doing this stuff. If you filled it all out for them, then they're the ones that will sign the 1099 they're the ones that will sign all the other documents. You'll sign the back of the You'll sign the back of the 1099A, and they'll sign all the other documents.
Okay.
But if you can fill them all out, so all they have to do is sign them. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I kind of did, so I make sure that they knew.
Okay, cool, man.
I appreciate everything you do, Chris.
Thanks for thanks for clarifying that, man.
Yeah, you have a good one.
Thank you.
You too, brother.
Okay. 915 area code. Amanda, go ahead.
Hello. Actually, this is Will. Thanks for taking my call. Chris and Tad, I appreciate you hosting tonight. And Chris, it's real good to hear your voice. Was kind of worried there for a minute. I'm just glad you're safe and sound. My question is pretty much kind of touched on it before, but more so about how I can be involved. I'm willing to volunteer my time, do whatever I can to help bring this along. I'm still learning how to do stuff. I haven't implemented anything, but I've watched all your videos on YouTube and started taking the instruction on the website. So I just wanted to, see if you had any more details as far as the timing of it and how we can get involved to, be one of the workers or, I retain information pretty good and, I've, been through the system, so I'm willing to do whatever to, help.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the enthusiasm, but I'm not looking for volunteers. Anybody's working with us, they're getting paid. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When this goes down, we ain't doing nothing for free.
All right.
It's time to
I
get
want
paid.
to do the work, is what I'm saying. Like, I just see so many implications for this.
Yeah.
And I know some people are, like the lady said, she was looking for funding to do what she had planned, and I just see so many ways this can be used for the good and put power back into the hands of the people where it belongs. And with some of the stuff that's going on politically, we can stave off some of that and crimes against humanity.
All right.
Don't you know?
So we still got some more people waiting, so thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for calling. Right. And, like I say, y'all, I know y'all are interested, want to get into it, and we sure can use the help. We'll be needing the help. But right now, until I can get a tentative number about when this is going to be up, stay with Tad, y'all. Stay with Tad. Get them emails when he sends them in. Come on these calls when you can. And believe me, I'm going to keep everybody up. Tad records these too, so, give him a day or two and let him come up. If you miss it next Thursday, no sweat. He'll have it recorded probably by Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to start posting these at YouTube. So.
Yeah. And he'll have some link there on his website or put the link in the email.
Yeah, I got to figure that out. I got to do a lot of updating. So anyway, we'll go on to our next caller. 636, you were on earlier, and I think you dropped out. So we're going to go to you next.
Hey, Chris. It's good to hear you again. I'm glad you're okay. I was a little worried about you.
Hey, is this Missouri?
It is.
I thought I recognized your voice. How you doing, brother?
Doing pretty good. Hey, I just have a question. I did that conditional acceptance and everything. And with you kind of disappearing, I didn't know if something was wrong with the Treasury process, so I was trying to figure another way to get these paid. And I was on a call here a week or so ago, and someone was saying that with their bonds or their insurance, like for the cops and the stuff, that if there's any kind of claim against them, that the insurance halts immediately. And I was wondering if we could get their bonds.
And without their insurance, then they can't work.
And this is sorry, this is against who again?
Against cops and things like that.
Okay.
Go after their bonds. Cops and judges and things like that. Yeah.
And if we could find their bonds or their insurance and then send the insurance or the bond a notice of claim, I wonder if that could mess them up. You got any thoughts about that?
Oh, yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. It should stop all that, man. As far as going at finding their bonds, they don't give that. They don't like to give that up so easy.
I've made some inroads
you know what I'm saying?
into that. It's not. I think if you're in a court case, what did he say? You do it's not a freedom of information. It's a public records request. Go in and to the court and do a public records request for the judge's bond or liability coverage.
Yeah, most of them, they're not. Their oaths aren't registered anywhere either, so they're not even supposed to be working if they can't produce their oath of office. That's another angle.
All right, so does that answer your question?
Yeah. That's,
all right.
Good.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. You know what? Let me see. This is... Okay, so that's how you do it. All right. 619 area code. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Chris?
Pretty good.
I'm glad to hear your voice, man. It's good to hear it again. I wanted to ask you about how your court case is going.
I'm still waiting on a response. It pisses me off. A couple days ago, I called the Supreme Court, and I talked to the lady downstairs, and I said, look, I've been following the Supreme Court now for about a year, and I noticed that, like, for instance, this month, they heard 4 cases, but they only published 1 decision. Last month, it was 4 cases and 1 decision. July and August, they listened to no cases and published no decisions. I said, if I was working if I was the manager of a warehouse and I only got 1 out of 4 loads out that I was supposed to have done for the day, I would be out of the job. How is it that these people, we're paying them, there's 5 judges, we're probably paying $1 million a year for them to work 25% of the time. And she was like, well, I don't know. When I said that, I don't know what's going on. I'm just down here. I don't know what they do up there. I said, well, apparently nobody does. Who do I talk to? Who's the oversight for these guys? Well, if you have a complaint, you can call the Board of Professional Responsibilities. I'm like, yeah, right. So I called the Board of Professional Responsibilities. It's the Board of Professional Responsibilities for the Supreme Court of Tennessee. So it's the Supreme Court's Board of Professional Responsibilities. They're not included into that, right? So I called that, and it said, if you're a judge, press 1. If you're a lawyer, press 2. If you're in the public, press 3. So I pressed 3. The only way that you can contact the Board of Professional Responsibilities is to file a complaint. Go online and file a complaint. So you can't even talk to somebody if you got a question, right? So I looked at the members who were on the 9 members who are on the Board of Professional Responsibilities, and only 2 of them aren't bar attorneys. They're not bar members. Only 2 of them aren't. 2 of the 9 aren't bar card holding individuals, right? Okay. So if you report, how far would it go if I reported as Supreme Court Justice when 7 of the 9 are bar members? One was the one that wasn't was a sheriff, and the other one that wasn't was.
Oh.
I called the Senate.
Chris, you're starting to break up.
And I left a message, but I didn't. How's that?
Oh, go ahead.
Is that any better, Tad?
Yeah.
So I left a message, but I don't think I left my phone number. So I called him back, and the secretary answered. And I asked her the same thing. You know, I've noticed that they only work 25% of the time. They only fill a quarter of the orders that they have. What's the problem? Why is it like that? Well, if you want to file a complaint, she said, this is only for lawyers and judges. I said, how far is that going to go when they're all bar members? You know what I mean? You got to screw up really bad. I said, I watched one Supreme Court case where the lawyer was had her license suspended for 3 months because she was dating some bouncer that was a bouncer at a club in Nashville. He hurt somebody, and she tried to represent him. Right? So the judge reported her to the bar, and they suspended her license for 3 months. Well, it took a year and a half for that to go in front of the Tennessee Supreme Court, so she was already back to work. And they're wasting time listening to this case. And all they did was agree with the original judge. So nothing happened, nothing changed. I said, so I don't go there with that. I said, but seeing how you mentioned the bar, I said, do you have to be a member of the bar to practice law? She said, you have to pass the bar exam to practice law. I said, so if I pass the bar, I can practice law? She said, yeah, I think so. I said, can you answer me this, though? Is there 2 bars? She said, what do you mean? I said, is there 2 different bar associations in Tennessee that you can go take the bar exam from? She said, no, there's only 1 bar in the state of Tennessee. She said, there's only 1 bar in every state. And then there's the American Bar Association, right, which they're all under, right? So I said, so what you're telling me is there's only 1 bar in Tennessee, and I have to take their exam before I can practice law, right? She said, yeah. I said, did you or your senator ever read the Tennessee Constitution? I said, I would hope at least he did, seeing how he swore an oath to it. I said, if you look at Article 1, Section 22 of the Tennessee Constitution, it says that monopolies and pituitaries and monopolies are strictly forbidden in a free state and are not allowed. So monopoly's not allowed, right? I said, it's not allowed. Well, that's only for businesses. I said, you mean to tell me that the Bar Association isn't a business? Why are they licensing people if it's not a business? You get a business license, right? She tried to beat around the bush. I could tell at that point she wasn't ready to. She was ready to get off that conversation. It just got hot, right? And I said, it's a monopoly. She said, no, it's a nonprofit organization. I said, so the fees that they get, what does that go for? She said, well, like continued education and all this other stuff. And I said, okay. I said, every judge in Tennessee pays $300 a month. $300 a month. Every judge that's sitting on the bench pays $300 a month. I know this because I know that judges do this. I know a judge who told me that he did this 2 years ago, that he had to pay a bar. He had to pay a bar fee. I said, they're not even supposed to be practicing law. And I said, so you mean to tell me that pays for, and then if you do continued education, you have to pay for that yourself. The bar isn't paying for it. I said, no, it's not a nonprofit organization. And then I read to her from Black's Law what a monopoly is. And it says that it's either for someone that's provided, a monopoly is someone who has cornered the market on a commodity or service. Right? So I said, it's service. You guys provide a service, right? The Bar Association for... She was like, she was stumbling and standing on her tongue, man. I said, you know what? I don't want to waste any more of your time than mine today, so you have a nice day. I got bars. That's what's going on. They've come out, the last two decisions that they published were after our hearing. One of them was that afternoon. We got heard that morning. The one that they just recently published came out that afternoon. It was the 5th case heard that day. We were the 3rd. So we're not hearing nothing on it yet. I haven't. Believe me, that's probably one of the first. That's probably going to be, if I do make any more videos on YouTube, that's probably going to be one of them. How that case went. But I will tell you this much. That video, because I put that video in the playlist on my channel, that video's had over 18,000 views for the Supreme Court hearing that day. There's only one other channel or one other video on their whole channel that's got 2,000 views. There's only 2 or 3 other videos that have over 1,000 views, right? So that is the most watched video on their whole Tennessee Court TV channel.
All right, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention my buddy worked for the Supreme Court of Tennessee, and he met the new justice they have, and he mentioned your name, and her eyes got big. He said it was pretty funny how the mood changed in the room. I just wanted to let you know.
All right, man.
All right,
Tell your friend I said appreciate sharing.
Okay, 70.
She's pretty cute though. The new justice that they got.
Yeah.
She's pretty cute. She's a good-looking woman, man.
Well, don't fall for that.
Yeah, she couldn't get over the books or records though. She kept saying books or records. I can't get over this books or records. What does books or records mean? I guess that was her moment in the sun. She was her first day of sitting on hearing arguments in the court. So,
all right, 704 area code. You're next.
Yes, hi, Chris. This is Jay Wilson here. Regarding the 1099As that we've been sending in, we've been sending it in to 1111 Constitution Avenue. On the 1096, on the 1096, there's an address and instructions that says that the filer is to send it to, depending upon which area you live in, there's 2 addresses on there that they say we should send it to. Should we be sending it there, or should we continue sending it to the Constitution Avenue?
Okay, I'll explain this the easiest way I can. I've done this a couple times already. In different situations. Send it to 1111 Constitutional. And the reason I say that is because if it goes to that office, it's in the hands of the Treasury before it gets into the hands of the IRS. If they So it's kind of like they put their prints on it, okay? They touched it first. When you send it to them, it's going to the Treasury. The green card should come back signed that it was received by the Treasury. Now, the Treasury will give those to the IRS, and if the IRS says send them to Ogden, Utah, or send them to Austin, Texas, or send them to Independence, Missouri, I think it might be. There's a place in Missouri that they do that too. They'll go there. Let them go there. Let them be the ones to send them there, because they're the ones that are moving this stuff around. And I do know that if you get one that's sent to Ogden, Utah, that it's some of these places that they're sending them to, like Ogden, Utah, are specifically designed to collect. Ogden collection IRS office. Phoenix, I think, is a collection IRS office too. So let them send them.
Okay.
Because it's gonna touch someone's hands in the IRS or in the Treasury before it touches someone's hands in the IRS. It's best. Because some people have said, should I send it to 1500? Should I send it to 1500? I think it's Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania Avenue.
Right, because that's where the IRS is at, or the Treasury. Excuse me, the Treasuries. The United States Treasury is at 1500, Pennsylvania. But there's a liaison office in the IRS at 1111 Constitutional. It'll go to that. Because when you address it, it'll be addressed 1111 Constitutional, but it'll say United States -Treasury. So it's going to go to the liaison's office first. Then they'll send it down into the main office of the IRS, and then they'll send it wherever they want to send it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Don't freak out, guys, if you send it to Washington, D.C., and it comes back from some other place, or that it's been sent to some other place, because that's what they do. They send these things around. They did ours like that when we filed the conditional acceptance and the contract with the Treasury. We sent it all to 1111, and what they did is they sent it to Ogden, Utah. They sent it to Ogden, Utah to collect. How do I know they collect? Because the Treasury agent told me I got $150 million in my trust now. Yeah, wow. I started at, 6 years ago it was $132.6 million. Now it's just a hair over $150 million.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Y'all have a blessed night.
520 area code.
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Arizona John.
Good.
You got it.
John, how's it going, buddy?
I've missed you, brother. Missed both of you, but anyway, I got a lot of questions, but I know you got a lot of people probably, so I'll go with I tried to stop a foreclosure, and I filed a federal district court case at the U.S. District Court in Phoenix, Arizona on September 1st in an attempt to stop the foreclosure sale on September 6th. And I gave them copies immediately. They all got copies of the lawsuit against them. Well, they went ahead and held the sale on the 6th. And at the foreclosure sale, I was a witness, there was a no sale, and they said, it reverts back to the bank. Well, my credit report shows I owe B of A 0, which we all know that's really what I owe, nothing. But then they say now they're working towards evicting me from my own home, regardless of the court case, which I would find really rough. I was wondering if you had any eviction tips to stop them, or?
John, I do. Send me an email, and I got some documents for you to use that'll shut it down.
And is there, okay, I hear you. I got that answer.
Okay.
Now, the other question is there a W-4 process that, or any process that would work at this time, or are we in limbo on them?
Well, yeah, it's a court case. Court case, right?
Yeah, I have a court number and everything.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, do a W-4.
Well, I'm filing. I'm asking the judge for remedy. It's not like I'm after the judge, you know. So how does that work then?
If you're gonna let the IRS audit them.
Okay. Here's another quick question.
Anytime you guys got anything going on with any cases, man, this W-4 seems to be working rather well. More so than it is with debt. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. More so than this is working with debt, although it has worked with some debt.
Could my nonprofit 501c3 buy my foreclosed house for $21 silver from me?
Yeah, because see, you guys don't own this property. That's the way the county and the state is looking at it. Like the lady in Michigan, right? It's your trust. Every time you guys get a tax bill that says property taxes, it's coming in the all caps name. They're viewing the property as if it's owned by the trust. Remember, every taxpayer is assessed to K trust. So if your trust comes to you in the all cap, your tax document comes to you in the all caps name, then it's the trust that owes the taxes. That's the way they're looking at it. Although they don't think that way because they're just told that you got to do it a certain way. But really the trust, as far as they're concerned, the trust owes the property. You don't. The trust is the one that owes the taxes. You can owe the taxes. You're not a trust. You're the beneficiary of the trust. So when you when the trust is owned, or when the property is really owned by the beneficiary or the living being, then it can't be held and controlled by the trust anymore. You can actually sell your property because you can act as a trustee of your trust. They let you do that all the time. You can actually sell, acting as the trustee, you can actually sell the property to the beneficiary, the human living and breathing man. You could do it all with a contract. Just by the way you sign things. Sign the regular signature when you're acting as a trustee. Sign the beneficiary signature on the same document when you're acting as the beneficiary.
Right.
You can do that with your car. Your car is registered to the state, but it's registered to the trust. So act as the trustee, and sell the beneficiary yourself. The car.
I did a process where I recorded it. I fired the foreclosure company trustee and made myself a trustee already. I did that. It's notarized and recorded because they're doing me harm. They're not doing me any help, and they have they have no interest in my property. There is, they've never put a dime into my property. They're just using any method to make money. And, we have an action is not given to one who is not injured. They're not injured, and they can't prove an injury.
Yeah.
So, Are any of the conditional acceptance working? You know, I have some of those huge ones where they stole all my mine machinery and bulldozers and everything. Is there a way to do them now, or is the Treasury wanting everybody to wait for something? Hello?
Chris?
Hang on a second. You guys broke up a little bit.
Oh, I had one question. Are any of the conditional...
Hold on. Chris, are you there?
Yeah, it's coming in a little broken up. You're asking about, has any of the conditional acceptances worked? Yeah.
I mean, are they working right now to where we could do we could do those, like I have some huge ones?
Yeah.
So I think the question comes down to, Chris, like, as far as an inhibiting document, how to file a lien without using the UCC1, because the UCC1, generally speaking, I believe is for personal property, and you have to have somebody's signature, is what I was told by an attorney. Perhaps there's another way to file a lien that does not involve the UCC1.
There's a common law lien, which is 100-year expiration. I have that recorded for $72 million. Then I recorded a $72 million UCC1.
No, see, stay away from the UCC. It's going to get you in trouble. What I mean is, like, with your claim against whoever it is that's injuring you, how do you inhibit their property without using a UCC1, which is dangerous to you?
I see.
It's like here in Oregon, the attorney I spoke to said that if you inhibit their real estate, they have to sign that. They have to have a wet ink signature agreeing with it, otherwise they won't record it, or if they do, you're in trouble. So maybe there's some other way of recording a lien. I don't know.
Well, that's on somebody else's property. I've owned this property since 1976. So I can actually put a lien in my work and labor and the values,
John,
you know.
You say you have a conditional acceptance claim against some people, right?
Well, yeah, that's for theft of my heavy equipment and mine machinery.
That's what I'm talking about. Find a way to inhibit them by filing your lien against them, and that'll throttle them. In fact, you may just because something is not recorded in the public doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Go find who their bank is and give a notice of lien to their bank and watch your account shut down.
Okay, couldn't we do it though with the conditional acceptance program where we give them notice, they don't respond, and then we go ahead and submit it to the Treasury?
Well, you can do that, but it's not going to inhibit them.
I don't care what happens to them. I just want to get my money out of their theft and vandalism.
Okay.
That's all I was saying.
Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
On that front.
Any thoughts?
As long as you're hitting them, man, you guys, you're getting proof. You're getting the contract. You're getting them the contract that they've done you wrong. That's where it's really at. It's not about leaning them and stopping them from doing what they're doing as much as it is getting them the contract that they're committing crimes against you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's where the value is, as far as taking it to the Treasury and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, John.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I was talking.
Well, the reason I was asking this, I thought with some of our early tutorials, we had a methodology. Like I've had 4 D7 bulldozers, 1 8-yard loader, and 5 4-yard wheel loaders stolen by these crooks under the auspices of the politicians, and as well as other stuff. So I thought we could do a conditional acceptance, and then when they don't respond, we just submit that to the Treasury and get our money.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Well, it's not.
I was hoping that was how.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what you do is you got a contract. You're talking about you putting all these liens on it, but that's not really what's going on. Really what's happening is the Treasury is going to do it under the contract.
Well, don't they just take it out of their Cesti KV trust?
That's how they'll do it.
Okay, so John,
yes,
it's not
quite
working that way. It's not like you submit the claim and they write you a check. That hasn't really worked. What Chris is saying is that you take that claim, you submit it to the Treasury, and then when you become a bank, that money is that's the fractional reserve. You get to loan money out and then charge a percentage on top of that, and then that money gets paid back to your bank. But you don't get to keep it personally. What you get to keep is the interest. But you're using the amount of your claim as the fractional reserve. Does that make sense?
I like it. I like it. Thank you. Makes sense.
Okay, so we got to move on. Thank you. 252 area code. Go ahead.
Yes, hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is Katie in Colorado. And I was just wondering on the W-4, if we do that sandwich with our cases. I have a son incarcerated as well, and I want to, can you put more than one case on a W-2 or a W-4 rather?
No. What you'll do when you file these, you'll do the you can only file one 1040 a year, okay? But what you'll be doing is your W-4.
Yes.
Say you got two different cases, okay? Two different case numbers, okay? You're going to have one case number, and you're going to do a W-4 for the court, against the court, okay? And then there'll be one that you can do for the judge for that case, and you'll put the same case number down on another W-4. You do a W-4 against the clerk with that case number on it. Do a W-4 against the prosecutor with that case number on it. Then you do the same with another case number. If it was a different court, you'd do the second case number with a different court or the same court. If it's the same court, say there's two cases done by the same court, same judge, same prosecutor, and same clerk. You would be doing two for each.
Okay.
You'd be doing two on the clerk, two on the judge, two on the prosecutor,
right?
Two on the same court. If they were different courts in different counties, right?
No, they're the same court.
Okay. Then you would do one for each case, and then you'd do one for each person involved in each case. And then you'd file, say you did that, say you had two cases. You're going to file against the same court twice, the same judge twice, the same clerk twice, the same prosecutor twice. That would be 8 W-4s.
Okay.
Then you'll send those all together with the 1040.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And what people aren't doing, but I would suggest to do, is do an 8888 with that too. That way, any money that comes back to you on that, it'll be yours. What's happened? Check it out, y'all. When you're doing these W-4s, and you're doing them in a court case like that, what you're doing is you're saying, because those bonds were created against, those penal bonds were created against your son, is trust.
Yep.
Okay? So money's been made on those bonds. Your son we don't get to know what they're doing with these bonds. Most people don't even know that they're creating multi-million-dollar bonds based on every charge. Yeah. So what you're doing when you do the W-4 is you're saying, look, IRS, these bonds were created against my trust, and I'm ready to pay the taxes. but I can't pay the taxes because I don't know how much money the bonds are. Then the IRS initiates an audit against the court and the case. Now the court has to decide what they're going to do. Are we going to give up all these bonds, which means they're going to be responsible for the taxes that are owed? If I had 42 counts, like Tennessee says, and they created $12 million per count, that's up $504 million. If the Davidson County has to pay taxes on that, you're looking at about probably $70 million. They can't do that. No, we can't do that. And it's not the county, it's the actual circuit court of Davidson County that has to pay the taxes.
Yeah, right.
They have to settle, they have to balance the book because it's an audit. They have to balance the books. And the only way that they can balance the books if they can't pay for the bonds is to abandon them. So they'll abandon the bonds rather than pay the taxes on it. When they abandon the bonds, there's no longer a case. Okay? Which means you have to let the sun out. According to the theory involved in this whole thing, you'd have to let your son out. Because there's no case.
Right. Okay.
Chris, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm still here.
And just one more question.
They'll abandon the bonds. Okay?
Okay.
So what the IRS will do is do a 1099-A for abandonment of secured property because you allowed them to be your trustee when you filed the 1040. Oh, we got to go collect these funds from this guy. So we can get so we can get taxes. Now, if I've got $500 million.
Oh, now you're breaking up, Chris. Now you're breaking up really bad.
Yeah. If you can hear me now?
Nope, getting worse.
Okay. I've got it.
Well, we got you there now. Go ahead.
Okay. It may go a little bit. It seems like it does about this time of night. I don't have a bit of problem with paying $170 million in taxes. If I'm going to get the 320, go ahead, get whatever you need. I don't care. Send me my $320 million.
Yeah,
because it's a return. There's people out here that are teaching this process, this W4 sandwich. They're not teaching folks the right way to do it. They're telling them don't sign them. If you don't sign them, you're not going to get paid. They're going to shred them. They're not going to audit something. How many times you file a 1040 and not sign it that you got your return? Some people are saying, well, it's not a tax filing. It's not a. Yes, it is an income tax filing. Another thing. So sign these things. Sign them without prejudice and use your beneficiary signature.
Okay.
Don't alter the documents. Don't alter the documents. Do not white out the sign under penalty of perjury thing. Some people are doing that. You could actually, and then they're wondering why they're getting hit with a frivolous filing charge because you're altering the document. You can't do that. You're really you're really pushing it close to a forgery charge by trying to alter the document.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
Yes, it answers. I just had one more about, the 1099s we've sent in. It might have been in there since May. Is there any date for processing those at all, or we just wait till we hear something?
Well, they may. Some people are getting them processed.
Are they?
Oh yeah, some people have had them processed. Like I said, the guy that came up here from Georgia about a month and a half, well, not quite 2 months ago, he had he used a 1099A and a remittance coupon to pay off the mortgage on his house. That's why they were celebrating up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought we'd stop by and see you. And I said, yeah.
All right.
You should have brought me a present, man. I was having to pay your ass off.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, so Chris, we're getting on here about 2 hours. I'm going to take one more call. We got this next person that's been waiting for an hour and a half. 317, go ahead. 317 area code. Well, as soon as it... There we go. All right, 317.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Chris. It's Dawn, the dealership girl. You and I talked months ago, the finance manager. But the mortgage thing, can I say this real quick about that? The thing about the mortgage companies is they want their money, right? That's all they want. They don't really care about that house. So I posted tonight on Telegram an equitable contract that has a bill of exchange included in it. So it's a conditional acceptance with an arbitration with a bill of exchange, and the one piece of paper with the bill of exchange printed on 32-pound weight paper that makes it a security. Make it for 3 times the amount of the mortgage. They should send you back a check and get off your deed because they want the money. They want the securities, and that's an instrument.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, now repeat that again.
Okay.
Yeah, say it again so everybody, pay attention, everybody. Listen to this. This is a great idea.
Okay, so the banks want the money. The banks are the middleman. So all these mortgage companies, all these auto, all of them, they want the money. So I posted tonight on Telegram, it's called an equitable contract. So it has a conditional acceptance, an arbitration, because every contract has an arbitration with the Arbitration Act of 1997. So the country runs on acts and trusts. So they want their money. There are different instruments of payment. You make them a security. So you send them a conditional acceptance with all the the House Joint Resolution 192, all the laws, all the trust laws.
Yeah.
Then inside there is a bill of exchange. It looks like a check. You make it for 3 times the amount of whatever you owe. You print it on 32-pound paper. That makes it an instrument. That makes it a security, a cashable security for them. Yeah. Then you send it to the trustee of whatever company. So it's the mortgage company. That mortgage company has a trustee to get your trust money. Every company has a trustee. Go to the SEC system, Securities and Exchange EDGAR system. Look up that company. Look at their 10K filings. Find their trustee. Send that to the trustee and the CFO of whatever mortgage company, auto loan, whatever loan you have. You send it to both of them, get it notarized, sign it in your beneficiary signature, sign that bill of exchange in your beneficiary signature, write your contract number, all your stuff. It's all in there. Send that to the trustee and the CFO. Those are the boys or gals that want your securities, and they'll know how to cash them.
So can you contact me at my website, youhavethe.right.com, so we can go over this?
Yeah, for sure. And then, Tad, I posted that tonight on Telegram. I'm forward on there. And then I'll do that tomorrow.
Look, it's hard to find messages on that thing.
Okay, I'll do that tomorrow. I'll contact you. And then the bills of exchange, let's talk about these remittance coupons super quick. I also posted the IRS has code that says if you get a bill of exchange from a taxpayer instructing you to Fed wire and settle the account, send it to the Office of the Office of the Executive Secretary. I'll also get with you about that. So what are bills of exchange? What is your coupon? It's an instrument. It is a bill of exchange. Yep. So you sign those and you send those to the Office of the Executive Secretary, and they settle your account through FedWire.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so the
Great.
Treasury, like that sounds interesting. I haven't heard that. But then the IRS has your remittance, because people look at those coupons, you don't, like, it is a dividend check. That is a bill of exchange. That is an instrument. If you look at the instruments, the definition of instruments under the USC code, because that's what they run off of, Act, USC code, CFR code, that's all they run off of. So if you look at it, and the definition of bills of exchange is one of them. Okay, I'll get with you, Tad. I just wanted to put that out there for people that are super struggling.
That's great.
There's some relief out there. You just got to get to the right people. I have sat on the phone with the IRS for like 8 hours trying to get to somebody. So my question, super quick, the 1099-A, I filed in May. I got my green card back. Then August 18th, I got a letter from the IRS that said we need an additional 60 days to see what we're going to do with your account. And I've heard nothing.
Okay. And it's been over 60 days now, hasn't it?
Yeah, and even now, if you count the weekends, yep, well over.
Yeah,
I called. Okay, so I called, and when I first got on the phone, I was with, like, the collections, because that's apparently they want everybody to owe them money. So she said, well, let me check your account. What did you file? And so I told her the forms I filed. I was the trustee. The beneficiary is really in need of the funds. I need to find out what's going on. Oh, okay, I see that. Oh, wait a minute. Let me look again. And then she came back. She said, oh, you need the refunds department. I said, okay. So then I got on the phone with a gentleman. He said, okay, what forms did you file? I told him, let me check it. Okay, and then did you do the 1096? Yes, it's in there. Okay, let me check. Okay, well, that's in the heirs department, HEIERS, so the payment department. I said, okay, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't make any mistakes. There weren't any errors I needed to correct. No, they're just running really behind.
I've heard that. That's all too familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the government.
All right.
You could, that's fantastic, though. Thanks for sharing all that information with us tonight.
Hey, you're welcome. I'll share whatever I learn, and I've done it all, and so I'm going to let you guys know what's going on. I haven't paid utilities in 7 months, so I think it's working.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right,
I'll let you
Yeah, thanks for coming on here tonight. Thank you all for coming on here tonight. See, Tad?
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless you, sister.
You too.
That's
so
what
glad
I'm talking
to hear
about, man. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, and I got my personal banker EIN and my foreign grantor trust EIN and my estate EIN.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm messing with those. I'll get a hold of you, Tad, too, about that.
Thank
you. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about, Tad. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You can speak things like Scripture says. You can speak things into existence. That's what we've done.
Amen.
That's what we've done, and I'm telling you, I've heard this so much, man, that it's super convincing. Matter of fact, I don't need convinced anymore. I already know. And I get on these calls, and believe me, y'all, if you guys listen to some of the folks that have been on here tonight, there is a wealth of information, and it's not coming from me and Tad. It's coming from y'all. Y'all get on here and you share stuff like that, you share your successes and the shortcomings. You know, I want to hear them all because we learn so much from our failures, more so than our successes, and it never ceases to amaze me what people come on here and they talk about. I recently started watching some TikTok videos, and yeah, I know it's Rambo Chinese, but I looked up. I said, let me look up 1099A. I did a search for 1099. There's probably 100 1099A videos. People on there. Some people even mention my name. And then yesterday I got on there and I looked up remittance coupon. There's about 150 of those. People on there trying to talk how to do this. And if you want to look and see, I went down there and I watched quite a few of them there yesterday. And if you want to see, there's people on there that have had success. There was one guy on there who's doing a video. He said, I did this remittance coupon thing I learned on here, and I'm the man from the power company's here to turn on my electricity. He was a little confused. He didn't know that the cutoff notice was that he thought it was just a late payment thing. So he went down with the coupon, and they weren't really sure how to handle it. But after he talked to some of the workers there, they accepted it. They accepted a remittance coupon to cut his power back on. And then they turned around and they settled up with the late payment that he had. They put him on a monthly billing cycle, and he paid for his lights for the whole year. He said, "I'm standing here in my house there, waving at the power man as he comes to turn my power back on."
Wow.
So the stuff is working. It really is. I'm happy to see that. Really, I'm happy to see people. People being successful, having some things. So. Well, we're going to try and do this every Thursday night again, Tad.
Okay. Great.
All right. Y'all come back with us again next week, and hopefully I'll have some more stuff. More details about what's happening.
All right, so Chris, if you would, hang on. Everybody, thank you for joining. Go to youhavetheright.com, join our mailing list, join our monthly membership, too. That really helps us out, helps me out, so I can bring these calls to you. So, that's how I send out notices of these calls. I have 2 mailing lists there that you can join. Okay, Chris, everybody, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week. Good night.
Peace and blessings, y'all.